In this demo, we are going to go over the capabilities of monitoring semantic SWGs, secure web gateways or proxy SGs. We are going to start in the NetOps portal. NetOps portal provides a single pane of glass to view fault, performance, and NetFlow data, and it also helps drive workflows for triage. Here we are looking at a dashboard that provides the NOC, or a user responsible for SWGs, a quick understanding of the overall health of the proxy SG environment. Right at the top here, we have the alarm console, which gives the NOC a view into ongoing issues within the proxy SG environment that needs attention. We shall look more at this in a few moments. The proxy SG KPIs view provides quick insight at a high level to a sample of proxy SG KPIs. We have here some reachability metrics that could indicate network latency, CPU and memory metrics that could indicate if the proxy SG is overloaded, number of client connections, and finally bandwidth utilization metrics. And finally at the end here, a column that indicates the current alarm state for each one of these proxy SGs. In most cases, multiple proxy SGs are deployed at a site for load balancing purposes. So here we see a representation of a site showing the aggregate of these proxy SG KPIs for each site or location. Again, it provides a quick overview of the health at a certain site or location, and which is related to each one of these proxy SGs in that site. Finally, at the bottom of this dashboard, we have some projection scorecard views that provide forecasts on metrics displayed. Currently, the forecasts are by site or location, but this can be changed to show forecasts by device. And as you can see, this sort of data can be used for capacity planning needs and also plan for increase in usage in the future. Let's scroll back up to the top to take a look at the alarms. So when I select one of these alarms, it gives me some details with regards to the alarm. This indicates that there's a CPU threshold breach on one of these proxy SGs. And with the domain knowledge that Broadcom has, these alarms provide meaningful insight that can be used in tickets for troubleshooting and remediation. So let's take a look at that. So further down here, we have symptoms related to this particular alarm, to this CPU threshold breach, probable causes as to why this occurred on this proxy SG, and then also actions that can be taken. So NOC engineers can use this data provided in the alarm and fill the details within a ticket to help the person responsible for triage, and it will provide some meaningful troubleshooting guidance. Right, so that's the key there. Having some of this data in the ticket would help improve root cause analysis and improve mean time to resolution. And right from the alarm we are viewing, which is a fault, and in this case a threshold breach on CPU, we can drill down to that item that's having the issue and view detailed performance data on that item. So as you can see, we can drill down here, and what this helps with is the workflow for someone that's troubleshooting this particular issue. Right from the alarm, drill down into performance data, right from fault right into performance data. So as you can see here, we have some detailed data against this device. We have device level performance data like CPU metrics, memory, interface metrics, right? As you can see here, some reachability metrics against this device. And then also, in addition to the device level performance metrics, we have metrics specific to the proxy SG as well. So in here, we have the proxy SG HTTP client stats, and one of the key indicators here is the proxy SG, total HTTP client connections average, and the reason to monitor this particular KPI here is, this value should never exceed the maximum number of client connections supported on a device. So if it does, then any new requests that come in would be delayed, right? So this would impact, end user experience. So that's something that's available for monitoring here in the Proxy SG. Another one is the Proxy DNS. This provides response times to the DNS from the Proxy SG. Again, this is a very important metric, since any slowdowns to the DNS server from the proxy server would in turn affect DNS lookups the Proxy SG performs on client requests to apply policy. So it has a direct impact on client connection performance. So we provide, these KPIs to be able to be monitored on these Proxy SGs, and then also you can threshold on any of these KPIs. Right? So we have TCP stats, proxy attacks, right? All sorts of proxy related KPIs. So all these KPIs on the Proxy SG provides insight into the overall health and gives us an understanding of the overall health of a Proxy SG. In addition to these KPIs on the Proxy SG, NetOps is also capable of reporting on NetFlow data, as I had mentioned earlier, on these Proxy SGs. So if we go to the Interface Health tab here, it provides us on some detailed performance metrics on the interfaces on this Proxy SG, and we can drill down into a particular interface. Right? So we'll be looking at performance data on the interface, utilization in, bits out, discards, errors. And along with that, you can see here we are viewing NetFlow data on this particular interface, which provides some detailed information as to what type of data is going through this interface, right? A breakdown of protocols going through this interface, top hosts communicating on this interface, a type of service, right? Top conversations. So it gives us some detailed NetFlow information along with performance, which is SNMP data on this particular interface on the Proxy SG. So let's go back onto the device. And go down to the alarms. So the alarm tab shows us all the alarms or the faults associated with this device that we are troubleshooting. And this is key because being able to view these alarms and faults associated with the device and the time that these took place, it gives the user who's troubleshooting this particular device for an issue the ability to visually correlate alarms, right? So an example could be that an alarm indicating that a configuration change took place on the device, right? And it comes in as a fault. And then a few minutes later, a high CPU threshold breach alarm occurs on the device, on that very same device. Now they would come in as separate alarms, but visually you might be able to correlate these, and it may lead to the root cause, right? So a change in some sort of proxy policy, right, caused high CPU on the device because the policy wasn't applied correctly, or it had a misconfiguration, right? So this helps with root cause analysis and again, mean time to resolution. So as I just mentioned with regards to configuration change on a device, NetOps also provides the capability to monitor configuration drift on a device and also audit for changes. So here we see, one of these alarms, a fault alarm that has come in indicating that the configuration that's running on the device has changed. Right? And we can view what those changes are down below here. If we click on one of these changes, right, this is where NetOps is picking up the configuration on the device daily, and we see that it's changed, and it tells us that the number of lines that has changed. To see this a little bit more visually, we can view this in our one-click web app and expanding the configuration manager, which is responsible for identifying these changes on a device, configuration change. You can go to that device, go to host configuration, and by clicking on the changes, it would visually show us what has changed by indicating, these blue lines are the lines that has changed on the device from the previous running config to the current running config. So that gives us a quick overview of what has changed on the device. So going back to our main page here, NetOps provides the capabilities and workflows to monitor and troubleshoot the health of your Proxy-SG environment. And it also gives you the capability, to be able to view the fault, performance, and net flow data for these Proxy-SGs from a single place.